Hello everyone and welcome to week 11 of the GBA D-League Season 4. Your New York Empoleon are 7-3, looking to finish the season with a win against the Baltimore Oriolus, coached by Choiced CJ. Now, he has an absolutely horrifying roster, and prepping for this was next to impossible, but we're going to do our best here. Just so people are aware, and I want to be like full disclosure here for a second. I will be posting this battle late, as you guys are probably aware of. Not late, like late on Sunday, but, I mean, whatever, you guys are watching it. But, you guys will theoretically by this point already know, as do I, what I need to do in order to clinch the 2 seed, in the GBA D-League Season 4 and get that bye. All I have to do is win. I was a camp counselor last week, and so I was actually away the week we were supposed to battle, so this is actually like pretty close to the deadline. It's the last of the battles that takes place, so every other battle has happened, so I know the results of the other battles, and I know that all I have to do is win. I want you guys to know that as I'm playing going into that, I am aware of that particular contingency. All I need to do is win this battle, and I get a bye into the semifinals. Losing, and I do not. There is no chance that if I lose, even a 0-0 differential loss, I still don't take the 2 seed, so I need to win. Now, his team, I'm predicting him to bring is Raikou, Darmanitan, Megalodios, Terrakion, Suicune, and Klefki. Could easily see the Swampert coming, could easily see the Celebi coming, stuff like that, because of the fact that Earthquake spam is so real against his team. Now, I do have my Haxorus with Mold Breaker because of that, and it does have Earthquake on it. It is Choice Scarf Haxorus, designed specifically to counter Choice Scarf Darmanitan. I also have a Focus Sash Dugtrio this week, as you guys would know if you watch the Teambuilder, but I know a lot of you don't, so I'm just going to talk about it a little bit here. Dugtrio is Focus Sash this week in order to, as long as there aren't rocks on my side of the field, which again, I have to get rid of this week if they do come up. Dugtrio can trade, it outspeeds everything that isn't Scarfed, and it traps something in, and I haven't really used it yet this season, so we'll see how CJ reacts to that. But I've been mocking with it and prepping with it a lot, so hopefully I know what I'm doing when it comes to using Dugtrio. And then Tornadus, Milotic, Victini, and Gardevoir will round out the team. Now, hopefully you guys enjoy this battle. I am playing for a win. I do not care about differential at all right now. I just need to win the game. I generally try not to timer stall, but we see a Suicune on one side of the field, we see a Milotic on the other side of the field. That's a 1v1 that never goes well. So we'll see what happens. My goal is not to timer stall. I do have answers to the Suicune. I just need to make sure that the Suicune doesn't start setting up Calm Minds or something shenanigan-y like that. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy this battle, and I will see you guys back here in a second. Alright everyone, welcome back. We are back with CJ. We've done this 10 times now, over 50 times now total. Let's see what he's bringing, and let's get into the battle. He does have the Licky Licky and the Drapion, but we don't see the Suicune, so we are probably, hopefully not going to timer. The Licky Licky obviously going to be a something to watch out for as this battle goes on. So let me throw those up on the layout right now. He does not have the Raikou, instead has the Licky Licky, and he does not have the Darmanitan. He instead has the Drapion. Okay, and then not the Suicune. What did he have? Not the Suicune? Celebi. Okay. Celebi's here. Alright, so EQ spam not as real with Haxorus just because of the Celebi, but that's fine. Choice Scarfed Haxorus, as long as it's not Scarfed Terrakion, definitely puts in a lot of work this week. Just clicking Outrage as long as the Klefki's dead, and before that clicking Earthquake and getting damage off on anything that isn't really named Klefki. Now my Dugtrio does have the Focus Sash on it. I do have to watch out for him trying to hazard stack on me. He could lead with his Klefki. I'm thinking that my Haxorus is a pretty safe lead. My Victini's also a pretty safe lead here. And I think that's probably what I'm going to go with that Victini lead. Just because I don't see anything that loves staring down a Victini. It's not Scarfed, so I do have to watch out for that. But it is EV to take an Earthquake from a Terrakion. Not a Ground EMZ, obviously, but an Earthquake. Not a Rock EMZ either. But a Rock Slide, yes. And if it does take those, then that's totally fine by me. I can then proceed to get a Weakness Policy boost and go from there. So he leads with his Megalodios. which is actually A-okay. Again, this also does not OHKO a Victini here, and I really want him to attack me. Draco Meteor, yeah, Draco Meteor does not OHKO, even if he's Modest, and he wouldn't be running Modest just because he needs the speed to outspeed me. Shadow Ball, if he is running it, does like 70%. So I'm going to click Flame Charge here. Victini's sort of a wall breaker. My Shadow Ball's doing about 50% to him. I'm going to click Flame Charge and then see what he wants to do. He is going to Mega Evolve, obviously. There's really no reason for Latios not to Mega Evolve on the first turn. Keeps its ability and everything, just gets stats. So he goes for a D-Dance. Okay. So he is the physical set. He is the Dragon Dance physical set. So we're going to say he's Jolly, and let's say he's max attack, because that's probably it. Dragon Claw, let's look at Shadow Claw at Shadow Claw at +1. Doesn't kill me. He'd have to get to +2. At this point, I kind of want to click Shadow Ball, because if he does hit me with a Shadow Claw here, then I get my weakness policy and I kill him. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball. If he does just keep setting up on me, then we do have my Milotic in the back, which can Dragon Tail this thing, which is always good. Goes for the EQ. It's a little stronger than Shadow Claw, but it shouldn't OHKO. It does OHKO. Is that a crit? It's a crit. Okay. Okay, so we got Dragon Dance, and we've got Earthquake. So that crit mattered. That crit definitely mattered. He's at +1. He's got Earthquake. Mega Latios, max attack, +1. Earthquake. Crit definitely mattered. Doesn't OHKO a Gardevoir at +1 with an Earthquake. It probably does the Shadow Claw, though. It does the Shadow Claw. I can go into my my Milotic here and Dragon Tail this thing out, which I think is going to be the play, because my Milotic's going to be able to take it just fine. It is not... It is Marble Scale, but it's not Flame Orb. It's got leftovers on it. And if he's like Dragon Claw, maybe Outrage, let's say Outrage. Yeah, he's not killing. So we're going to go for a Dragon Tail here. This is going to do a lot of damage, for sure. If he goes into Klefki here, it's not a big deal. That crit mattered a lot, though, because if I was still alive and I was able to take out this Latios and be at +2 special attack and +1 speed with my... whatchamacallit. So he goes for the Outrage here. My Milotic survives that. We Dragon Tail, we hit him. So we get him out of here, do a little bit of damage. What does he go into? Really matters here. Celebi. Of course. Alright, so we are put behind the 8-ball right off the bat here. If he has special attack investment, he will kill me right here. I do have to watch out for that. I could go into Haxorus. Gotta watch out for a Thunder Wave, though. The obvious switch here would be into my Gardevoir, potentially. Which is the slowest thing on my team. It's the only thing I really don't care about the speed of, besides my Milotic. He probably just goes for Giga Drain. I don't really think Milotic going down is great, but at this range of health, his team is so offensive that, like, and I don't outspeed anything besides the Licky Licky. And I guess the Klefki I can try to recover on as well. Now, the Celebi is tough. I think switching into Gardevoir is the play here. The Klefki is something that I can come in on. And the Licky Licky is something that I might be able to come in on as well. We are going to trace Natural Cure, which is great, because if he does decide to go for a Thunder Wave, sets up a substitute. I'm not overly worried about that. Let's see, is he leftovers? He is leftovers. So he's got lefties, leftovers, and he's got substitute. Now I can set up I can go for a taunt here, see if he's speed invested, prevent him from going for any sort of setup shenanigans behind this substitute. And there's really nothing he can do to me that's really going to hurt me, so I'm going to go for a taunt here. He's got Calm Mind, alright. And he is speed invested. So he is setup on setup on setup, and the crit certainly didn't help my case here. I'm pretty sure that my Victini could have done a lot of damage, but we're going to go for a taunt. Even after one Calm Mind, I'm really hopeful that a Moonblast should still break a substitute on a Victini. Not a Victini, on a Celebi. Probably wouldn't after a Calm Mind from Victini. But, let's see. So he goes for the Earth Power, which does a chunk, not a ton. So he's got speed, he's got probably some bulk. Let's see, does this break his substitute? Yeah, breaks the sub. Alright, so he's got Earth Power. And so we can just keep going for Moonblast here. He doesn't have a great switch into Moonblast, outside of maybe a Klefki. But I can always switch out on a Klefki. And we do still have our Dugtrio in the back, which does still have a Focus Sash. If this thing sets up rocks right here, which it can't do because I did set up a taunt on it right now, but it does outspeed my Gardevoir, so it's unlikely he has sub Calm Mind Earth Power Stealth Rock on this thing. He could have rocks on his Terrakion, and he could have spikes on his Klefki. But we do still have the Tornadus, we do still have we have answers. Unless something is Scarfed, and it may be a Scarfed Terrakion, very well maybe a Scarfed Terrakion, then Haxorus outspeeds his entire team before his Latios sets up another Dragon Dance. And if I can get rid of that Klefki, then I can just Outrage safely. So he's going to switch out into his Klefki. Okay. Now I would have loved to taunt there. I do have the Natural Cure, so I really don't expect him right here to set up or to go for Thunder Wave. He could go for Iron Head or Flash Cannon. Flash Cannon doesn't scare me, but it makes me not want to switch into my... It makes me not love switching in my Dugtrio because it breaks the Sash. My Lodic can come in on this thing. But I also could go into Dugtrio and get rid of the Klefki, barring Shookaberry Reflect on this Klefki from this range. He's a little under 75%. Now I can also just stay with Gardevoir, go for another Moonblast, see what he wants to do. But I think the switch is going to be into my Milotic here. Take the hit, whatever the hit is, and then try to recover back some health. Just because Milotic being healthy is really important for the rest of this fight. And Gardevoir definitely still has value to me later. And so let's see what he did. Let's see what he does. Does he Thunder Wave? He goes for Play Rough. And that does a little bit to my Milotic. Does he outspeed my Milotic? Would be a real question. Does he have enough speed to outspeed my Milotic? Because he doesn't naturally outspeed, and I do have a tiny bit of investment. And so let's see if he outspeeds my Milotic. If not, we're recovering here. He goes for the Toxic. That I'm actually sort of okay with, because it does activate my Marvel skill. And so we are going to recover here. He does at least reveal his Prankster, which is, you know, is what it is. But we do get some health back. We do get the ability to go for a Scald here, which could be really big on anything that switches in. Nothing wants to take it except something maybe like Celebi. but I would love to get a Scald off on this Klefki. And perhaps burn it. Start wearing this thing down as much as possible, because it is the one thing standing in the way of Haxorus clicking Outrage a bunch of times. And I think Milotic has... Like, I've got to watch out now that it's Toxic. It does have the leftovers, and now it has Marvel Scale, which is actually, like, I'm sort of okay with. I would obviously prefer it to be burned, but there's not much I can do about it in that sense. So he's going to go right back into the Celebi here. We did see the Earth Power, the Substitute, the Calm Mind. We haven't seen the Giga Drain, and I doubt he'd click it here. A burn would be great, and I do get it. Now, I know he's Natural Cure, and I know he's Leftover, so he's negating all of the burn damage. But it just means that he's not regaining health behind a Substitute or anything like that. So that is something, obviously, to consider. Now, if he does decide to set up another Substitute here, Gardevoir is a pretty safe switch-in. To this thing, we saw how little that Earth Power did the first time, even at +1, and we still break the sub with a Moonblast. And so, let's see, he was at +1, and Gardevoir is now at 104 out of 52. Oops. Which is 48 damage. Which is right in the middle of 0 special attack investment range. I think the switch is going to be into Tornadus here. Since he hasn't really shown me anything that's going to handle Tornadus, and he may have the rocks, Tornadus is pretty safe here. And he goes for the Psychic, so we know he doesn't have the grass coverage at all. And that does a chunk, and gets the Spadef drop, but we know he's not Scarf. We do have the U-turn. He doesn't set up his rocks. We know he doesn't have rocks on this. He might have them on the Terrakion. But we can get the U-turn off if he stays in. I can also click Knockoff here. But with the special defense drop, I don't think that's the best play here. Knockoff won't kill. U-turn will. And gives me that momentum into the appropriate switch-in. If he lets his Celebi go down, that's great too. So we're going to go for the U-turn. If he's like max bulk, this U-turn may not kill, but with knowing what his set is, my Gardevoir is 100% safe to switch in on this thing, and can taunt it safely as well. So that is really significant for my Gardevoir. It also doesn't as much threaten my Milotic as I would have thought. So he does switch out. He goes out into the Drapion here. Now, Drapion, I can go into my Haxorus and click Earthquake. Do I think he'd be running a Scarfed Drapion, would be the question. Because he's down to, that did, let's see, that did like 15%, right? It's down to like 85? No, it's down to 80, it's down to 20%. So this is like a pretty bulky Drapion. It's possible Earthquake won't OHKO from a Dugtrio. From Haxorus, it's also very likely it won't OHKO. Dugtrio does more. And so I think Dugtrio coming in is going to be my play here. He could be Shookaberry. I do have the Focus Sash. He hasn't gotten any hazards up, so we do have the Sash intact. And I think I'm just going to click Earthquake. He can't switch out. I don't see him being Scarfed. And if he is Scarfed, then we deal with that and we know. And if the Drapion is Scarfed, it likely means the Terrakion isn't Scarfed. And we do have this pretty nice Earthquake right here to click on this Drapion. Taking this thing out would be extraordinarily helpful. So we go for the Earthquake. Can we get a crit back? This has a chance to OHKO as well from this range. And it doesn't quite get the kill. We miss out on the damage range. He goes for the knockoff, which is probably going to bring us down quite low. I don't believe Drapion gets priority, but since he did just see my Sash, there's really no harm in me clicking Sucker Punch here. Is there? No, he's not going to recover anything. So I'm just going to click Sucker Punch, which will do that little last chunk. No real risk in that. It does reveal some of the set, but he has to be expecting that. So Mega Latios, I didn't write this down. Mega Latios kills Victini with Earthquake. Dugtrio kills Drapion with Sucker Punch. So we do miss the damage range that would have kept my Sash intact, which is sort of unfortunate. And by sort of, I mean extremely unfortunate. But that would have been his Pursuit user too. Nothing else in his team, I don't think, learns Pursuit. He goes out into his Celebi. You don't learn Pursuit. So he's going to try to set up something here on me. He wants me to switch out. Now, Dugtrio obviously has a lot of value to me, barring a Scarf Terrakion. It also outspeeds Mega Latios if it hasn't set up a Dragon Dance yet. So it's not like letting this thing go down is ideal for me. But at the same time, getting the damage off on the Celebi and then bringing in my Tornadus can be really beneficial to my team as well. Because he doesn't have a recover or anything. And he gets like no health back. He doesn't have Giga Drain anyway. But I think Dugtrio is valuable to me. I'm going to go out. He's probably just a substitute here. He's probably going to substitute. I'm going to Shadow Claw. I'm going to click Shadow Claw here. Predicting him to sub. Get a lot of damage on this thing. Critical hit. Goes for the sub. He still has enough HP to make it, which is entirely unfortunate, but that is okay. Prevents him from setting up Calm Minds or anything like that. Now, he does have the safety of this substitute, but I can go into my Gardevoir if I want to and preserve my Dugtrio. Since Gardevoir can take hits from this thing pretty well, and then click Moonblast on it to break its sub, and can definitely break a sub after one Calm Mind. I don't think... It might not break a sub after 2 Calm Minds, which makes me want to go for another Shadow Claw, and let my Dugtrio go down here. And then bring in Tornadus, which I think is actually a better play. So I'm going to go for a Shadow Claw again. Break its sub. If he sets up a Calm Mind here, then we're in great shape, predicting my switch. But that's not... Yeah, I didn't see him doing that, so... that's alright. Dugtrio trading 1 for 1 is about the best... it's about what you'd expect from a Dugtrio. So Celebi kills Dugtrio with Psychic. Now, the question is, what do I go into? Obviously not Gardevoir because it gets outsped. Haxorus would outspeed. I can click Earthquake from this range. Or X-Scissor from this range as well, which would hit the Klefki, though not as hard. But I think Tornadus is my play, and I think Knockoff is my play at this point. Since I outspeed the Klefki, not the Klefki, the Celebi, he probably switches it out to preserve it because it does outspeed things on my team, and getting a Knockoff off on something... now, if it's a Choice Scarf Terrakion, giving it the +1 is really bad. So I think I could U-turn and then just go into my Milotic if he does switch out, and I think that is the better play than Knockoff, now that I think about it. Although I would have knocked off a Scarf, but that's fine. We are going to U-turn on the Celebi and take this thing out. So we are going to trade again, so Tornadus, I kills Celebi with U-turn. And now I could go into Haxorus here, since it's not choiced into anything yet. But it doesn't quite guarantee an Oko on a little bit bulk invested Terrakion with an Earthquake from full. And it just baits in the Terrakion with a Z-move or a Scarf. Scarf Terrakion doesn't kill a Haxorus from full, but Z-move might. Although I'd be hesitant to expect him to be running a Fightinium Z Haxorus. Wow. Terrakion. I need to get a little bit of damage off on the Terrakion before my Haxorus comes in. but I think I'm kind of backed against a wall, because if I go into my Gardevoir, he just goes into his Latios, and I lose Gardevoir pretty much straight up via Shadow Claw. And we have seen 3 of his moves. The last one could be Shadow Claw. Could also be Roost. Latios, Mega Latios. I have 28 seconds. Jolly Nature, max attack with Shadow Claw without a boost from neutral. Does kill from there. But I can go into my... I think I would just let it go down at that point. It's not gonna threaten anything else. So yeah, we're gonna go into Gardevoir here. Which should bait in his Latios or his Terrakion. Terrakion actually probably doesn't kill without a Z move. Iron Head, I do have the Babiri Berry, which I'm really hoping he doesn't think I do. And that would allow me to get a Moonblast off here, which is exactly what I'm going to click. So Iron Head does not kill, unless it's Corkscrew Crash, but then I know he's not Scarfed, which is really good. And so, you know, Rock EMZ would kill, for sure. There's no doubt about it. Stone Edge has a good chance to kill as well, but Rock Slide doesn't. And there's always a 1 in 5 chance Stone Edge just doesn't hit me, which would be phenomenal. Now there is a 30% chance that Iron Head flinches me after I survive the attack, which would put me in a very tough spot. Goes for the Stone Edge, lands it. We don't live that. There was a small chance that we lived that. He could be Scarfed. I think my switch is into my Milotic at this point. And Milotic to a Terrakion with a Stone Edge. And I am Marvel Scale. And I am Toxic. Stone Edge is doing very little. Scald is doing very much. Now I could go for a Recover here. Since nothing really wants to come in on my Milotic here. But I am just going to click Scald, because again, for my Haxorus to do what it needs to do, he sets up his rocks at this point. So we know he's not Scarfed. We don't know if he's not Z-move. But please burn this thing, that would be amazing. Get that burn. No burn, but we do more than 50%, and we get a little bit of health back, and then a little bit of toxic damage. Now Z Stone Edge still doesn't kill from this range. I could Recover, but I think clicking Scald is going to be my best play here. Since he's probably going to switch out at this point. He's not Scarfed, so Haxorus outspeeds the rest of his team. I'm going to click Scald here. Close combat. Okay, it's a little stronger than Stone Edge, but we should take it. And we're going to take out the Terrakion. So, Terrakion, I keep not writing down in my notes what happens. Terrakion kills Gardevoir with Stone Edge. And then Milotic kills Terrakion with Scald. So it is... if he goes into his Latios, I think I just click Dragon Tail. What range does Latios need to be in to die to an Earthquake from the Haxorus? A little under half. I have to click Dragon Tail here. I cannot let him set up a Dragon Dance on me. And if he goes for an attack, then I just bring in my Haxorus, and I have to click Dragon Claw as he goes into his Klefki. I have no other choice there. Goes for the Zen Headbutt. So we know his whole set. Actually, I could go into my Tornadus here. So Mega Latios kills Milotic. with Zen Headbutt. I could go into my Tornadus, which outspeeds this. Then I have to let it go down. And then how much is a EQ from a Haxorus due to a Licky Licky? Not a lot. I could go into Haxorus and predict the Klefki, but if I get that wrong, I just straight up lose the game. And I could go into Tornadus, go for a knockoff, let it die. But if he Dragon Dances on that, then I lose. I have to go into Haxorus, and I have to not predict the Klefki. Actually, I could go for a... Excuse me. Could go for an X-Scissor here. Just to get damage off on it. Because it does, from this range, have a solid chance to take out the Latios. But no, if I don't kill the Latios in front of me, then I lose. If he brings his Klefki in, I can still switch out. But if he ever sets up with his Latios, then I just lose the game. I kind of have to Dragon Claw. I can't Outrage. I mean, I can Outrage, I guess. It doesn't really matter. No, I should Dragon Claw, because if he lets his Latios go down, then I have to be able to switch out. I have to Dragon Claw. I know he's going to bring the Klefki in. I could have Earthquaked on this thing. But it was just not quite worth it, in my opinion. I can't stay in. And he knows it, and he can go right back into his Latios and set up a Dragon Dance on my Tornadus and win the game that way. I should have just gone for the Earthquake there. I knew this thing was coming in. Goes to the T-Wave. I mean, I think I click Knockoff here. That crit on Victini first turn, guys. Certainly didn't help. Certainly didn't help. I should have gone for the Earthquake there. That would have put me in a great position because I would have killed this thing, been able to switch into my Tornadus, switch back in. He takes out my Tornadus. And he's going to Thunder Wave me. Klefki kills Tornadus. I with Play Rough. I have no choice here. I can't. Should have clicked Earthquake. Miss. There's a 10% chance he missed that, which still didn't matter because his Mega Latios can take an Earthquake here. And I get fully paralyzed to boot. So that is going to be the game, guys. We are going to be playing in the first round of the playoffs, and it looks like likely it's going to be... yeah. Wow. This game really does not want me to win this. So it has spoken. It has decided that we are not going to kill the Klefki at all. Just 0% can kill a Klefki. So Klefki's going to go down. He's going to go into his Latios, and Klefki doesn't even go down to that. So Klefki's not even going to go down. So we really... so Klefki kills Haxorus with Foul Play. Great game to CJ. Do I think... So, in my defense, I do actually... I never say this. I do believe that first turn crit really put me back. Do I think that determined that I lost the game? Absolutely not. I had so many more chances to win this game. But the great thing about it, and the thing to relax and just know, is that we are in the playoffs. Yes, it probably matches me up against Techno. I have to check all of the differentials of everybody, but we do get a chance to face Techno. Winning that probably matches us up against Zazo. So we are going through battle after battle that we've lost before, but we have a very good chance to make it through this playoff run. I trust my front office. I trust myself to make the plays I need to make. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next week as we take on our first playoff match in the GBA D-League. Take care, everybody, and I hope you guys are excited because the New York Empoleon are not done yet. Bye, guys.